Hello everyone! Today we will meet a nurse who lost her job because of a medical error. But 24 hours later, 4 luxury cars arrived at her home. A nurse from New York named Diana was going through a tough time in her life. She worked in a hospital for over 10 years and was loved by her patients and colleagues. But one day, she made a mistake that cost a patient his life. Even though it was an accident, the hospital administration didn't want to take any risks and fired her immediately. Diana was devastated, not only because she lost her job, but also because she loved her work and felt that she was making a difference in people's lives. She couldn't understand why nobody was trying to see her side of the story and help her get her job back. Struggling to pay her bills, she moved into a 2-bedroom apartment with her best friend Maria. One evening, while they were eating dinner, Maria said, "You know, Diana, you are an excellent nurse, and people will be lucky to have you on their team." Just then, the doorbell rang, and Diana went to check who it was. It was a representative from a well-known car company. "Do you know Mr. Williams?" he asked. "That's my father," replied Diana. "He was in an accident and is now in the hospital." The representative explained that Mr. Williams had mentioned Diana's name before the accident, and that's how they knew she was his daughter. He handed her a card and said, "Here's my card. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to call me." Diana thanked him and closed the door. She couldn't believe that her father had mentioned her name just before the accident. What did he mean? Was everything all right? As soon as she hung up the phone, Diana rushed to the hospital. She saw her father lying on a hospital bed with tubes and wires attached to him. He was unconscious, and the doctors were doing their best to keep him alive. "Dad, I'm here," Diana said, hoping that he could hear her. Suddenly, he opened his eyes and whispered, "Diana, I'm so glad you're here. Please save me." Diana couldn't believe what she was hearing. Her father was begging her to save his life. Just then, one of the doctors approached them and said, "I'm sorry, but your father's condition is critical and there's nothing more we can do." Diana couldn't accept her father's death. She knew that he needed her help, and she wouldn't rest until she tried everything possible to save his life. Thinking quickly, Diana asked the doctor if she could call someone for help. The doctor agreed, and she dialed the number on the representative's card. "Hello, Mr. Smith. I need your help. My father is dying, and I think you can save his life," Diana said. "What? How can I help you?" "Please come to the hospital as soon as possible and bring all the specialists with you," Diana replied. Within minutes, Mr. Smith arrived at the hospital with a team of specialists. They took over the situation and began performing open-heart surgery on Diana's father. After several hours of surgery, Mr. Smith came out and told Diana's family that her father was stable and would make a full recovery. The next day, Diana's father was transferred to a private room where he stayed for a few days until he was well enough to be discharged. Before leaving, he called Mr. Smith and his team of specialists to thank them for saving his life. "How can I ever repay you for what you've done for me? You saved my life," he said. "Don't mention it, sir. We were just doing our job," Mr. Smith replied. When Diana's father returned home, he told her everything about how she saved his life and how grateful he was to have her as his daughter. He also told her that he was proud of her and that he knew she would find another job quickly. True to his word, within 24 hours of her father's recovery, Diana received a call from the head of human resources at the hospital where she used to work. "Diana, we've been looking for you everywhere. We're sorry for what happened, but we want you to come back to work," she said. Overjoyed, Diana accepted the offer and returned to work the very next day. She was so happy to be back in a place where she felt valued and appreciated. And as a token of their appreciation, her boss gave her a brand new car. But that wasn't the end of Diana's good fortune. The next day, she received a call from a car company. "Hello, Diana. This is Mr. Smith from the car company. I would like to offer you 4 cars, one for you and one for each of your parents. It is our way of saying thank you for saving Mr. Williams' life," he said. Diana was shocked. She couldn't believe that she was receiving 4 brand new cars as a gift. But she accepted the offer and soon found herself driving one of the most luxurious cars on the road. From that day on, Diana lived a life of luxury and comfort. She never forgot the day when she saved her father's life and how it changed her life forever. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time with another amazing story.